Using transporter technology yesterday, like Star Trek, using transporter technology like Star Trek. Melanie, a Gabriel Chana Fox News reporter, and Tyrone, and a medical doctor, they're young, they just graduated, were transported right into some moving traffic right in their car while they were both in their car, and what they do is they transport them down from the Church of Gail, and then the car like materializes right onto the road with all the drivers. It freaks some of the drivers out around them. That's how they get them off of Church of Gail to come down here and mingle with us ordinary folks here down on the ground. So when they're up there. So as Melanie, Jesus Christ built Church of Gail too, so it's got some incredible technology. So Melanie drove to my apartment to deliver this gas mask that that my men wanted me to have, and they wanted to use Melanie to deliver this to me. And she noticed a sting operation taking place at a Walmart where a lot of fat chicks were being arrested because they were trying to steal a bunch of electronic shopping carts for themselves. So she went there to get a news story. And while she was there holding this gas mask trying to get her news story, one of the fat chicks grabbed this from her and started eating it. And then she almost ate the whole thing except I think this part right here. That's what Tyrone said. And then she said she was going to eat Melanie next, and Tyrone jumped in front of Melanie and rescued her from the fat chick, and they ended up arresting the fat chick and turning her into the police. So they were late because they had to go back and get another gas mask for me. You say, what's that? This is to protect you from the fat woman's farts. I've been making videos telling you need to get this. If they fart and you don't wear this, you'll become mentally retarded. Especially if you get a strong concentration of any woman who weighs 300 pounds or more. If you smell their fart, you'll get mentally retarded unless you got this on you. It's really pathetic that we've come to this because of Zack Knight's cloning technology, creating these crazy human beings in his cloning labs. Okay, so anyways, so she got delayed. So she had to go back and get another mask, and then she ended up here at my apartment, and you might say, oh, I don't believe that stuff about, eating. Well, Laurie McBride ate the tape from all my video cassettes in the 1990s, and that's how she destroyed all the tapes I sent to Brent Spiner. And Laurie McBride is a clone created in Zack Knight's cloning labs. He creates some really weird people in his cloning labs, and they're all terrorists. And obese, thin, privileged leader Sarah Avery weighs like 1,000 pounds. I said, Brent, how does she stay alive at 1,000 pounds? She probably has a heart attack every day. He says the Jesuit scientists use their computer satellite technology to clear the cholesterol out of her veins and arteries every day to keep her alive. Jesuits. What they do with their mad science is just sick. Okay, anyways. They came to my apartment. They stayed here for a couple hours, and I talked to them about colors and everything. But while they were here, her camera started conking out. And this didn't happen last time I visited with her at a Japanese restaurant when I met with her in February. Her camera was working fine then. And so we knew it was Zack Knight. I thought, this is Zack Knight. He's somehow zapped, just like he messes with my computer all the time. Whenever I make a video and it skips and jumps, he was able to interfere with her camera. So anyways, then we decided to go out to a restaurant. And while we were there, the camera they charged up in the car on the way over, and she says it usually lasts a long time after that. The camera started dying down again. And a knife even flipped up and flew, and nobody moved the knife. So we knew Zack Knight was having fun with his technology. And while the camera was dying, I decided to talk to Zack Knight on the camera and say, hi, Zack. I know you're playing games with this computer. And I know that you're just trying to show off, and I know you're there. Yeah, and he actually decided he's got technology where he can steal video footage, even if you don't put it online. It happened to me when my mother came over one time to visit, and I recorded the visit using my webcam, but I didn't post the video anywhere online. It was just stored on my computer, and yet the video made it online and got posted, and nobody lives in here in my apartment except me. So I went to my men and said, how did Zack Knight do that? And they said, your ex-husband, when your mother was there, he was out there, and he used some sort of technology where he was able to take it right off of your computer long distance and then like teleport the video to Zack Knight. And that's how we got it. This is the kind of technology the Jesuits have. It's disgusting. I mean, nobody has any privacy. They have mind-reading technology, too. I'm not going to go there right now because that's not what this video is about. But I'm just letting you know technology like this is out there, folks. And that's how, and I swear to you, under death penalty, man, that's how he got that. Melanie and Tyrone did not send that to him. He got it using his technology. And the only reason Tyrone's voice sounds like Terrence Jenkins' voice is because he's a relative. He's the nephew. So that's the only reason. Lord, he's messing with my computer again. See what I mean, folks? He's doing it right now. Okay. Anyways, we had a really nice waitress. Towards the end of our meal, a really obese chick showed up, and she was sitting behind us. And Tyrone and Melanie were getting nervous as we need to get out of here. What if she farts? Is she wearing a fart plug? Because if she farts and you breathe in the fart, you become mentally retarded unless you're wearing one of these. And we didn't have any gas masks on us. So after we left, we were fine. Nothing happened. We were there. But I found out that after we left, she let out a big, huge fart. And the same waitress that waited on us smelled that fart and became mentally retarded. And also several other people that were around her got mentally retarded as well. So that's really sad, folks. And these are human. I really believe most of these women are obese because of Zack Knight's technology on their brains, and maybe they've been created and is genetically programmed to become this obese. And the Jesuits have actually created a dish called Slinger, which you can get at Steak and Shake, which also encourages obesity and gas formation in these women. So it's just disgusting what this Zack Knight does. And then what happened is that they took me home, and as we were driving, we saw Jesuits just coming out of nowhere trying to like hit us and stuff. So I told Melanie, watch out for your drive and make sure that we don't hit any crazy Jesuits on the way home. And it was pretty okay, but I was a little worried about them. So I prayed, and then they left. They wanted to make sure I made it to my apartment. Okay, and I did. They left, and when they were on I-95, and what happens is once they get on the road and they move, then Terrence will use Church of Gail technology to transport them up the moving car up from the road to Church of Gail. While they were on I-95 getting ready to get transported up to Church of Gail, the Jesuits started shooting missiles at them on I-95. And fortunately, Melanie was a good driver, and she maneuvered her way out of the missiles, but the missiles hit a bus full of children and killed a lot of people on I-95. And yesterday, there were also fat chicks exploding at a Walmart in a part of in the town where I live, and thousands of people got killed, injured, and became mentally retarded from the explosions. This is a really serious problem, this environmental terrorism. So this is what I want to discuss here. We got to do something serious about this, folks. We need to have this morning, then I woke up with another Jesuit allergy headache. Our scientists have determined that Zack and his Jesuits are responsible for the allergy attacks that I've suffered this past month. They send their agents here around my apartment complex, or they put it in the clouds above, or they mess with my air conditioner, or they use brain control on the fat chicks to cause them to explode like pollen-filled bombs, to worsen my yeast symptoms, my allergies, and my health. I propose that we put a scanner on my air conditioner unit out here to scan for the presence of pollen, molds, yeast, etc. This scanner will also scan for the presence of any Jesuits around me. We'll call this project the AC Unit Scanner Project. Zack Knight, who was behind yesterday's missiles that killed a bus full of children, needs to be arrested. And we need to find a means to arrest him and his followers. We have irrefutable evidence for Zack's involvement with my allergy and yeast problems. Besides, when I asked Jesus to beat him up for the missiles, the allergies, the fat chicks exploding, the fart damage, he gets seriously damaged, so we know he's guilty, even though he denies it. For this reason, we're going to use my AC unit as the place to put the scanner to detect Jesuit activity around me. This scanner will be placed on my unit and will scan 24/7 for the presence of dangerous Jesuits and for allergens, yeast, molds, and any substances that impair health. If this scanner detects a Jesuit, fat chick, or object, including the AC unit itself, that has high concentrations of a harmful substance in or around it or them. This scanner will be programmed to report this to our military units in the government for evaluation and for a course of action. The evidence will also be sent to the courts in order to arrest and bring to trial the Jesuits or criminals involved. This scanner will also scan out into all areas within a 100-mile circumference of me in all directions. If it detects a high concentration of deadly fart gas anywhere or any other evil substance or allergen, it will enclose that concentration and the person responsible for the release of the dangerous substance or who's about to explode. And then it will use transporter technology. It'll enclose them with a rocket that will immediately encase the person and shoot that person up into space with as much of the deadly substance associated with that person going up with them, so that that person will explode in outer space or be in outer space and unable to harm people on the ground. If the AC unit scanner project turns out to be successful, we will expand it and the use of it and put it on other AC units worldwide. You may ask, why are you using air conditioner units? It's because Zack Knight has been obsessed with my AC unit for years, and I'm sure he's doing something evil with it. The AC unit draws in air from the environment right into the house, so it's the best place to put a scanner to determine what's really happening with the air inside the house. The scanner, when it sends information to our military and courts about the activities of environmental terrorists, will also be connected to Jesuit Rule 13, who I trust, because she's brilliantly helped me fight off these polluters, and also to my men at Church of Gail to warn them of environmental terrorism activity, possibly sending information to their computers so that they can take the action needed to deal with the environmental terrorists. I consider this deliberate air pollution, the addition of yeast and mold into my air, an act of environmental terrorism. And judging by all the allergy headaches I've had recently and the yeast confusion I've had, we need to arrest these people, these polluters, as environmental terrorists under international law. Once we arrest them as environmental terrorists, we'll investigate their involvement in other terrorist matters, because Jesuits do have several operations going on at once and are always killing people. And we're going to use their environmental terrorism activities as the means to arrest all Zack Knight Jesuits, because the evidence for the Zack Knight Jesuit environmental terrorism is right there in my AC unit, which Zack Knight has recently tampered with and which he's been doing for years. He uses it to worsen my yeast infection and my allergies, giving us irrefutable direct evidence of a Jesuit obsession with environmental terrorism. All the Jesuits loyal to Zack Knight that I'll call Zack Knight Jesuits, except Rule 13, should all be arrested for environmental terrorism crimes committed worldwide. What Jesuits have done to my air conditioner unit, making it a yeast factory, establishes that they are obsessed with environmental terrorism. Environmental terrorism I will define as the willing and knowing direct or indirect attempt to use harmful substances like allergens, mold, yeast, chemicals, and deadly obese women fart gas in the air, water, food, or anything that people breathe, eat, or absorb to kill or injure people. Because of this irrefutable evidence from my air conditioner unit right out there, we have circumstantial evidence that Zack Knight Jesuits have an obsession with environmental terrorism, and we can use this circumstantial evidence to arrest every Zack Knight Jesuit on earth for every environmental terrorist act committed anywhere, giving us the ability to arrest all Zack Knight Jesuits as full terrorists. We almost have circumstantial evidence on just about everything else that happens worldwide, so that's why we can do this. But that's the direct evidence right up there in my AC unit, and since I'm the #1 target of the Jesuit Order, that epitomizes the heart and soul of the Jesuit, what they did to my air conditioner unit. So all Zack Knight Jesuits worldwide can be arrested for all fart explosions, for the thin privilege movement, for deadly farts, pollen and mold clouds, rain clouds, etc., even if we don't have direct evidence, because of the overwhelming circumstantial evidence that Jesuits have an obsession with environmental terrorism, as evidenced by what they've done for years to my air conditioner unit. Once we arrest Zack Knight Jesuits for involvement in environmental terrorism, they will be investigated for involvement in other terrorist crimes, and their trials will be held on the Gabriel Fox News channel. We got to do something about this, folks. This environmental terrorism right now is our biggest problem.